Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm sure that some of you know that I do a lot of work in open source around the Fine Toolkit, Go programming, and in general app creation. But today I wanted to introduce you to one of the projects that you might not be quite so familiar with, apptrix AI. It is a graphical universal app creator project that we're creating on top of the open source programming. It uses Go and Fine to help build applications as quickly as possible for all platforms. But today I wanted to show one feature that I've been working on. It's for zooming in and out the workplace, the graphical editor, which was requested by one of our customers. And it's quite elegant, so I thought I would show you it. So I'll just launch the app, apptrix. This is our launcher window. You can see we could use templates, an assistant, or import the project, but I'm just going to open the calculator that I've been working on recently. The application itself is relatively straightforward, a series of buttons that perform a calculation, but what I'm talking about today is looking at this editor here. We have a preview for a desktop application, and we can switch between modes to see how it might look on a tablet or a mobile phone. Now, if I make this space just a little bit larger here, then you can see there's a lot of available space that we're not making use of. If you're working on a larger app like the tablet, things start to get a little bit small because we're working with a lot of real estate in a very small space. And so somebody asked if we could add in zooming. So you can see I've added a zoom out and a zoom in button here, which is going to do exactly that. For our phone here, I zoom in a couple of times and you can see it's already got large enough for the screen to scroll. And if we then switch to a different view, they've all scaled accordingly. And also, these are in the view menu here. We can zoom in, zoom out, or go to actual size. So that's back to where we were before. And what makes this all possible is a fairly small piece of code actually to do with data binding. So I wanted to show you how that works. I'll just open up a little piece of code from this project because it's not all open source, so I'm just showing a little bit here. And the menu calls into these functions zoom in, zoom out, and zoom original. Zoom original just tells the zoom level, this variable here, zoom, to be set to 1, the starting amount. And when we're zooming in and out, we're calling a function called scale GUI and passing in a factor. This is just a constant. There you can see zooming out is 8.333 and zooming in is 1.2. Those are reciprocal values. And if we go into the scale GUI function, you can see it's very similar. It's setting the zoom value, but we're multiplying the current, which we've got, by the factor that's passed in. That's pretty straightforward. But how does all of this magic work? Well, it's because this zoom field here is a binding, a data binding. You can see it is a floating point value, and we simply set it when we want that value to change. Now, how does that reflect in the display? Well, the zoom factor is passed into our editor, and that value there is set up a little bit earlier on, and you can see here it's just a new float. We set it to 1 by default. And also, that same is passed into this scaled theme. This is a special theme that I've created just for our user interface, and it controls how things look inside that editor window. I've set it to this variable scalar, which is used in a few different places, but mostly I'll just scroll down to here. You can see it's passed into a new theme override. That's a type of container in the Fine package. That means the theme inside it is different to the one that's outside, probably the system theme or the one that the application has set. Our device containers, the desktop, the tablet, and the mobile, are all inside that theme override. So when we change the value, our scalar theme updates, and the whole user interface updates automatically to show that change that we've requested. That really is all there is to it. It just magically works because of the way that data binding is integrated into all of the user interface elements. Hopefully, that's helped to see the power of theme override and data binding, and you can consider how that might be useful in your app as well. Thanks so much for joining me on this video. If you find it interesting, please do check out other articles that I've written on my website at amd.xyz, and you'll find many of my videos on YouTube. However, I would love it if you'd sponsor me on Patreon. You'll get early access to some videos like this and also exclusive content, and I'm going to be sending out newsletters there to share what I'm working on. Lastly, do consider heading over to apptrix.ai to see what we're working on there and to find out more about this product that I just teased a little bit of today. See you in the next video.